Anyway, most people thought that this was going to be a pleasurable experience, and I mean, technically, like I said, I have the at least two or three ships called Rodney, which I built and owned and own. Like I own a whole fleet of battleships over there. Not that I need them. Well, other people used them and did stuff, and I made money off of ticket sales and even transporting people, from here and there and all that kind of stuff on the battleships and other ships. I never got to see them. And that leads into how I was supposed. They were. I was. I guess I was supposed to die when I was 9 years old. They intended to kill me and were going to kill me and are planned it out basically. So instead of a little vacation on a planet, with my death, and then they were going to fight over whatever's left of the empire or whatever's left of my money. Anyway, though, most of my money was invested and stuff, and Nixon spent years at the Congress or whatever trying. Where's the money? Where's the money? It's like, well, we used it to build the cities and the companies. And then I guess Nixon was trying to get money from the companies, like saying that he owned it, or the state owns it, or the government owns it, or something like that. And I don't know, like bureaucracy, and just like Nixon basically, and apparently Roosevelt was trying to start a revolt or something like that because he wanted to change the wages in Panama or something like that. I was paying them a fair amount of money and actually even giving them raises and steps up like that. Apparently, I guess he was going down there to do a revolt or to stop, or basically to keep the money, and give the workers less money because they would accept less money, and then keep the difference or something like that for the Republic or for himself or something like that. And they found him in Colombia paying like 12 gold or something like that to some army to try and raid and kill the people in Panama so he could keep the gold or something like that. I don't really know. Something that happened a long time ago. Anyway, like I say, asked the Irish about it. They found out about it and told me about it, and kept him confined to his quarters for over 2 years or something like that. I don't really know. Where he wrote lots of letters and lots of notes or something like that. I don't really know. So Roosevelt was basically just a piece of shit and got his teeth busted out by one of the Irish people, and also his ribs broken or something like that. And trying to say that he worked for me, but he didn't work for me, I guess. I think he killed the guy that actually did work for me or something. Because they said, well, actually, the guy who worked for you is dead. He's in the ground over there. Roosevelt and his guys killed him. And then there's Truman. Like I say, a lot of things were going on because, like, I own Panama. I own all the steel from Panama. Those were my factories, my companies, and I used the metal gained from Panama to build ships, 8 or so, or 10 ships, 10 big ships like the Bismarck. And the Bismarck used to be like there was 2 or 3 Bismarcks. One of them was a fast ship. One of them was one with guns, and another one was something else. I don't really know. It was a hull type basically, and thick hull type that would last a very, very, very long time. And I hoped it would last until I was around here. I guess it didn't. I don't know. I think they melted it down or something like that because it was ridiculously thick. They used to call it the big beast because it would take so long to stop and to churn. Like it could ram through icebergs. Like you could hit an iceberg. What was that? I think it was an iceberg. Like there it goes over there. Like its hull was like the hull on the Bismarck was like 12 inches, or it was the thickest rolled steel we could possibly roll or possibly do. It came out hot, and they would use a big thing to press it and then put it together or something like that. It was like really, really thick, solid steel, like 12 inches or 24 inches thick steel plates that would be made up the hull. Just one big sheet of steel, basically. And I think they might have actually hot rolled the whole damn hull. So the hull was just basically one big, huge, long, like 12-inch or 24-inch thick hot steel thing that just went. It's some sort. It was like one of the ships was like some sort of ridiculous thing where it was just like, well, we took it hot and we just pinched it, and that's the shape we got, and then we put holes in it, and that was like the hull for the Bismarck or something. It was like ridiculously thick and way more thick than it needed to be. But I mean, you could ram iceberg and go, Look, there it goes over there, like a little ice cube. That's funny. Okay, let's keep going. It's like ridiculous, way thicker than you would ever need to make it. So later on, like they couldn't even cut it with a torch. It was so thick because, like, you put a torch up to it. They had to invent the plasma cutter just to cut it, basically, because it was so thick. It took them like 5 or 6 years just to invent the plasma cutter to go because they couldn't cut up the hull. It's like solid. It's like it's steel. It's solid, and there's nothing we can do about it. Torpedoes would just dent it or something like that, or boom or something like that. Like they had to invent a special torpedo to try and puncture it, and then you'd just get this little bitty hole in it. It's like, what's that? Oh, that was the last attack where they tried to get us. Like you could nuke it, and it would go like the Bismarck was like this ridiculous hull that was like, I think it was 12 inches or it was 24 inches. It was something like, it's like, why did you make it that thick? Because I could. It was a monumental ship, and it was like one big long piece. I could afford it, so I was like, yeah, build one. So they built one. And then I think later on they were cutting and they put the turrets in it and all kinds of stuff and just messed it up, and people would talk about it. They were like, oh, they just messed up that ship. It used to be beautiful. It's a nice, long, sleek ship that could ram through anything. And then they put all this crap on it, put all those cannons on it, and put that big tower on it, and it just ruined the whole damn ship. It used to be this nice, long, sleek ship that was like fast and stuff like that because you need a lot of weight once you get going in order to go through the huge waves it's not the water is not moving that fast underneath you. What it is the wave action that actually is hitting your ship when you're going through like 30 foot swales or 90 foot swales. The water is not actually moving at 30 knots underneath you. The water's moving at a normal rate, whatever, but the wave action, I think, or something like that, is what slows you down and stops you, basically, because you can't fight the current and the wave action. So, but with the Bismarck and the weight, you could just go and actually get like some real speed out of it, because it was heavy enough where the wave action was like, what was that? Oh, I think that was a 90-foot wave that just went over us. Yeah, okay. It was like almost like sub action. You could just anyway, and that's what the whole idea behind the Bismarck was basically this mammoth hull, and like you could cut the engines, they said, and it's like, okay, they're turned off. The speed's not dropping yet. Like they would count the seconds, 1, 2, 3, 4. It was like 30 minutes later or something, it began to drop in speed. They said, and 30 minutes later, it was dropping in speed. Like it was just like. Because it was so fucking heavy. I only built 1 or 3 of them. That was it. I was like, all right, that's enough. That's ridiculous. But it was my ridiculous ship. And I think they cut it up, actually, because it was just too much steel to waste. I mean, they were going to sink it, but then I think they were like, no, this is too much steel to waste. And it was like 500 tons or million tons or something of solid rolled steel. Yeah. Anyway, Rodney or someone gets their hold of it and starts messing it up and stuff, and they put all this junk on it, and everybody gets all mad about it and stuff because it is the White Star Line's ship or whatever. And I eventually, I'm like, oh, go ahead and melt it down. We'll build cars or something. And they build like 5 billion cars out of it because it's really good steel, and so they build all these cars. And from that one ship or whatever. And like meanwhile, like Nixon and Rodney are like with the money just like stuffing it. Just like whatever, and it's like all from my, it's just basically piecemeal recycle. But it's like $1 billion recycle. So anyway, and and they even build whole lines of ships out of that one ship. So anyway, it's this big like scam where basically a bunch of people are scamming me basically, and then they kill a bunch of people, which makes it even worse. So they kill a lot of people, like 500 million, and then they try and cover it up. They try and cover up the food poisoning stuff, and they try and cover up this stuff, and they try and cover up that stuff, and they've killed like 5 million or 1 billion life forms.